Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Once again, this video I am going to explain the biological significance of elements in human body. Okay, so previous video I have started the introduction of bioinorganic chemistry. This is the next topic after introduction. Kindly open your notebooks, put the side heading biological significance. So we are going to start with the sodium, potassium and chlorine. So what are the sources of sodium, potassium and chlorine, and also what are the functions we are going to learn now. Okay, under biological significance, put the side heading sodium, potassium and chlorine. You know students, the main source of sodium and chlorine daily we take in our diet. What is that? That is the common table salt, which is nothing but sodium chloride. So we use this common table salt for the purpose of cooking. So we can write the main source of sodium and chlorine in diet is common table salt, which is used in cooking. So the very first sentence under this, write down the main source of sodium and chlorine in diet is common table salt, which is used in cooking. Okay, now what about potassium? Sodium and chlorine. Okay, what about potassium? You also know that potassium is obtained, or potassium can be obtained from various foods, both from plants and animals. So regular daily whatever we take, like tea, coffee, the green leafy vegetables, milk, bananas, potatoes, fish, so many are there from which we can get potassium. So this is the source of potassium. And you know students, sodium is the main extracellular cation and potassium is the main intracellular cation. So these two ions, what are the two ions? Sodium and potassium and chlorine, they are absorbed from gastrointestinal tract. Okay, so this is about sodium, potassium and chlorine source. Coming to the, okay, once I will show you it students. Potassium is obtained or found in almost all foods, both plants and animals. It is also present in tea, coffee, green leafy vegetables, milk, fish, bananas, pineapple, potatoes, etc. Below that, you just mention sodium is the main extracellular cation and potassium is the main intracellular cation. Okay, now these two ions and chlorine, so sodium, potassium and chlorine are completely absorbed from gastrointestinal tract. Okay, now next coming to the functioning of this ion, sodium, potassium and chlorine. There are various functions students. I have given point by point. Number 1, A, put the side heading maintenance of normal hydration and osmotic pressure. Maintenance of normal hydration and osmotic pressure. Okay, so the sodium and potassium ions, they mainly function, okay, to regulate or to maintain the normal osmotic pressure of the different body fluids. So by doing so, they protect the human body against excess loss of fluid students. Okay, this is the main function of Na plus and K plus ions. The primary function of Na plus and K plus ions is to maintain the normal osmotic pressure of different body fluids, thus protecting the body against excess loss of fluids. Excess loss of fluids. Next function, students, B, put the side heading, maintenance of acid-base equilibrium or pH. Acid-base equilibrium or pH. So what is this function, students? Sodium and potassium salts. What do? They combine with the corresponding weak acids. Okay, you know there are strong acids and weak acids, right, students? But the sodium and potassium salts with the corresponding weak acids, they can form buffer solutions. So what does these buffer solutions do? These buffer solutions, they are useful in regulating the pH of various fluids in the body. You know the pH of various fluids in the body should be maintained. Okay. So for that purpose, sodium and potassium salts, they react or they combine with the corresponding weak acids, forming buffer solutions. And these buffer solutions, they help in the regulation of pH of various fluids in the body. For example, I will tell you, students, the buffer system or solution H2CO3 plus Na2CO3, carbonic acid plus sodium carbonate, present in the blood, it helps to maintain the pH of blood. What is the pH of blood, students? Do you know? Yes, it is 7.4. Okay. So, this is the function of sodium and potassium ions in maintenance of acid-base equilibrium or pH. So, kindly once check the points under this. Sodium and potassium salts with the corresponding weak acids form buffer solutions. These buffer solutions play an important role in the regulation of pH of various fluids in the body. For example, the buffer system H2CO3 plus Na2CO3 present in blood maintains the pH of blood, brackets mention 7.4. Next, third function, C, transport of carbon dioxide. Transport of carbon dioxide. So these sodium, potassium and chloride ions, they help in transport of carbon dioxide. Okay. So this also you can write under the functions of sodium, potassium and chlorine. Next, fourth one, maintenance of neuromuscular irritability and excitability. Maintenance of neuromuscular irritability and excitability. Underline, students. Now, this function, what is this function? Sodium and potassium ions, they help in the regulation or maintenance of neuromuscular irritability and excitability. Okay. So, just you can write sodium and potassium ions. Potassium ions are important in maintenance of normal neuromuscular irritability and excitability. Okay, so this can be expressed in the form of an expression, students. They are expressed by the following expression. Below write down. What is that expression? Irritability and excitability proportional to Na plus K plus by Ca plus 2 plus Mg plus 2 plus H plus. You can see directly proportional to Na plus K plus. Whereas in the denominator, Ca plus 2 plus Mg plus 2 plus H plus. That means they are against. These ions are against. Okay, only Na plus and K plus sodium potassium ions are helping in the maintenance of this neuromuscular irritability and excitability. Okay, so written the expression, students. Next, E. Fifth function, maintenance of proper viscosity of blood. So these are all to be maintained, students. For this, what are required? Sodium, potassium ions help in regulating, sodium and potassium ions help in regulating the hydration of plasma proteins in blood. Okay. So if this is not maintained, will be undergoing many health issues. So for the proper hydration of plasma proteins in blood, we need sodium and potassium ions. Written, students, sodium and potassium ions help in regulating hydration of plasma proteins in blood. So directly, students, you can write neatly in your notebook. This is for exam I am giving you, students. So you can write the same points in your exam also. You need not prepare notes again. Next function, students, EF. Put the side heading, in secretion of digestive fluids. In secretion of digestive fluids. Sodium and potassium salts help in the secretion of juices like pancreatic juice and bile, students. In secretion of digestive fluids. Under this you will write sodium and potassium salts help in the secretion of or provide alkaline juices like pancreatic juice and bile. Next, the last function, G. Put the side heading, in storage of protein and glycogen. In storage of protein and glycogen. Underline, students. Okay. So under this you will write, especially here, potassium helps, students. This potassium, what it does, it enters into the intracellular fluid. Potassium enters into intracellular fluid. So when does this potassium enter into intracellular fluid? Means during cell growth and its repair. Okay. Now, when 1 gram of glycogen gets stored in liver, 0.15 milliequivalent potassium passes in the intracellular fluid. Okay. Here you can see only about potassium, students. So, when 1 gram of glycogen is stored in liver or gets stored in liver, what happens? 0.15 milliequivalent potassium enters in the intracellular fluid. So this is the way potassium helps in the storage of protein and glycogen. Intracellular fluid. Okay, students, total how many applications or how many functions? So 7 functions, students, of sodium, potassium and chlorine. The first function, maintenance of normal hydration and osmotic pressure, maintenance of pH or acid-base equilibrium, in transport of carbon dioxide, neuromuscular irritability and excitability maintenance, next proper viscosity of blood maintenance, secretion of digestive fluids, storage of protein and glycogen. So students, whoever is having the exams, kindly write down all the points by watching this video. Share with your friends, students. Don't forget to like the video and also subscribe the channel. Okay. So take care, students. Meet you in the next video with a new topic.